was the end of an era. The legendary Sir Alex Ferguson, the man who had defined Manchester United for over 2 decades, was preparing to step down.
5 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, 10 Charity Community Shields, 1 European Cup Winners' Cup.
And what better way to write the perfect farewell
Can you believe it? The most dramatic finale! Sir Alex Ferguson, he never gets tired of winning.
than to go out lifting the UEFA Champions League trophy one last time. But football, as we know it, can be cruel. Sometimes the difference between glory and heartbreak isn't tactics or talent, it's a single moment. One decision, one whistle, one red card. The 2012-2013 season was supposed to be Sir Alex Ferguson's last dance. After 26 years at the helm, over 30 major trophies and 2 Champions League triumphs, the legendary Scot was eyeing one final European conquest before calling time on his iconic career. United were dominant in the league. They steamrolled through opponents, reclaimed the Premier League title with 4 games to spare, and ended the season 11 points clear of Manchester City. They were hungry, driven, ruthless. But for Ferguson, domestic titles were nothing new. What he wanted, what he craved, was one last Champions League trophy, that elusive third, the final piece in his farewell mosaic. He knew time was ticking. This was it. And then came the draw. Manchester United versus Real Madrid, 2 of the biggest clubs in the world, 13 European Cups between them. Ferguson versus Mourinho. Ronaldo's emotional return to Old Trafford, it wasn't just a football match, it was a heavyweight battle, dripping with history, storylines and anticipation. In the first leg at the Santiago Bernabeu, United held firm. Despite relentless Madrid pressure, they walked away with a 1-1 draw, thanks to Danny Welbeck's well-taken header and David De Gea's heroics between the posts. An away goal, advantage United. Ferguson left Spain pleased but cautious. He knew Mourinho's Madrid were dangerous, but he also believed in his players. He believed in the moment. The return leg at Old Trafford on March 5, 2013 was electric. A sea of red. Flags waving, Ronaldo returning to his old stomping ground. The stage couldn't have been bigger. And then came the shock.
Choosing to go into this massive match without Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney, benched. One of the most iconic players in Ferguson's era, left out in a game of this magnitude. But Ferguson had a plan. Danny Welbeck, a player many underestimated, had been given a crucial role, pressing Xabi Alonso, cutting passing lanes, and tirelessly harassing Madrid's build-up. Giggs, in his 1000th professional appearance, brought composure. Carrick controlled the tempo. Ferdinand and Vidic were a wall at the back. Ferguson was outfoxing Mourinho, tactically, mentally. For nearly an hour, that plan was working to perfection. United pressed when needed, dropped deep when required, and transitioned with intent. Madrid were rattled. And then, the breakthrough. In the 48th minute, Rafael surged forward, linked up with Nani, who whipped in a dangerous ball across the 6-yard box. In the chaos, Sergio Ramos bundled it into his own net. 1-0 United on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. Old Trafford exploded. Ferguson punched the air. His team, his carefully constructed, perfectly drilled team, had 1 foot in the quarterfinals. Madrid needed 2. Everything was going according to script. Minute 56, a hopeful ball floated high toward the left wing. Nani, eyes fixed on the ball, leapt to control it. As he lifted his leg, Madrid's Alvaro Arbeloa rushed in from behind to challenge. There was contact. Arbeloa crumpled. The referee, Janne Checker, sprinted into frame, reached into his pocket. Red card. Stunned silence. Nani looked bewildered. Ferguson lost it. He stormed down the touchline, screaming. The camera caught him red-faced, veins bulging, eyes wild with fury. Even Mourinho looked confused, almost apologetic. Old Trafford, once a cauldron of joy, turned into a theatre of disbelief. Janne Checker wasn't just any referee, he had a history. Known for high-profile decisions in major matches, Checker had controversially sent off John Terry in a 2012 semi-final, Mario Balotelli in the Euros, and had earned a reputation for being unpredictable and severe under pressure. UEFA trusted him for big games, but trust doesn't always mean consistency. In this case, he didn't consult his assistants. He didn't hesitate, he just flashed red. And for Ferguson, that rash judgment might have ended his Champions League dream. Let's break it down. Was Nani's boot high? Yes. Did it connect with Arbeloa? Yes. But was there intent? Was there dangerous play? Here's the key point. Nani never saw Arbeloa coming. His focus was entirely on controlling the ball. It was clumsy, maybe even reckless, but to label it violent conduct or serious foul play was, in the eyes of many, a massive overreach. Former referees like Graham Poll and Howard Webb agreed it should have been a yellow, not red. And players across the world, including Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher, and even Madrid's own Xabi Alonso, expressed sympathy for United. Reduced to 10 men, United lost their shape, their discipline, their momentum. Madrid smelled blood. In the 66th minute, Luka Modric, just minutes after coming on, danced past a defender and unleashed a swerving shot from outside the box. It hit the post and nestled in. 1-1, but more importantly, momentum flipped. 3 minutes later, Gonzalo Higuain found space on the right. He crossed low, and Ronaldo, of course, it had to be Ronaldo, tapped it in. 2-1 Madrid, aggregate 3-2. And with the away goals rule, United needed 2 more, with 10 men against Madrid. It was too much. After the final whistle, Ferguson refused to speak to the media. He was incandescent, boiling. Assistant Mike Phelan spoke instead, saying,
"We feel very, very disappointed that we ended the game.
We feel as though we've been hard done by. The referees made a very poor decision." Rio Ferdinand sarcastically clapped the referee's face. Ryan Giggs looked haunted. And then came the most unexpected reaction of the night from Jose Mourinho. In the post-match interview, he said,
"Is to say that, in my opinion, the best team lost. But
the best team lost. I'm not going to say we didn't benefit from the red card, but if 11 versus 11 had continued, we were in trouble. They were better than us." Coming from Mourinho, the ultimate mind game master, that said everything. So, let's ask the question, what if Nani hadn't been sent off? What if Ferguson's men had stayed 11 versus 11? They were leading. They were composed. Madrid was struggling to break them down. There's every reason to believe United could have seen that game out, maybe even added another. Knocking out Madrid would have sent a message across Europe. Barcelona were wobbling, Bayern was strong, but United had experience. Dortmund were exciting, but not invincible. The final was set to be held at Wembley, in England, a perfect setting for Ferguson's last stand. A 3rd Champions League title, the fairy tale ending. That night, that moment, was the last time Sir Alex Ferguson ever managed in the Champions League. Just 2 months later, he announced his retirement. And suddenly, that red card became more than just a bad call. It became the last page of an epic European story. No swan song in the final, no redemption, no trophy under the Wembley lights. Just a missed opportunity, tainted by controversy. To this day, the debate rages on. Some argue that Nani's challenge could have endangered an opponent, that the referee simply applied the letter of the law. But most fans, players, managers, even neutrals, agree it wasn't a red. It shouldn't have been the moment that defined the tie. When the margins are that thin, when the stakes are that high, you expect better. You expect common sense. What we got was a robbery. Let's be clear. Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy was never dependent on one game, one season, or one trophy. He is, and always will be, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, manager in football history. 13 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, 2 Champions Leagues, a treble, a dynasty. But still, fans can't help but wonder, what if? What if Nani hadn't been sent off? What if United had reached the final? What if Sir Alex lifted the trophy one last time? It was within reach, so close, and then it was gone. Football is beautiful, but sometimes brutal. For Sir Alex Ferguson, the final chapter of his Champions League story was written not by a player, but by a referee. A single decision that many still argue was wrong changed the course of history. Was it fair? Was it just? Or was it the moment that robbed a legend of his last shot at immortality? Let us know what you think. Was that red card deserved? Or was it a disgrace? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and join us next time for more deep dives into the greatest and most heartbreaking moments in football history.